All right, so our next question focuses on zoning. It states, schools with high concentrations of poverty face many challenges as a result of childhood trauma and generational poverty and its effects. Currently, many of our school zones are made up of almost entirely impoverished students, and these schools are consistently low performing as a result, no matter what interventions are given. Do you support a plan to redraw district lines in a way that creates more racial and economic balance in our schools, since diversity almost always raises achievement?
When we have changed the student makeup of our schools, when we have fully diverse schools, when it comes to socioeconomic diversity, racial diversity, all students do better. That is the ideal that we should be striving to achieve. I mentioned before, I know that people prefer to make a choice than to be told what to do. So I would like Hamilton County first to really double down on improving opportunities for people to choose the school that they feel like is the best school for their child. Zoning is something that we've got to keep in our back pocket. We know that that works, but we're going to have a lot of community involvement to make those decisions. When we talk about transparency, the community has to be involved every step of the way. In large part, to really fully understand the why of this. Because every one of us cares about our own kids. We care about our own grandchildren. We care about the value of our own home. The school board and the school administrators can encourage all of us along the way. But what we've seen in the past is that if the community is not on board, we're going to figure out a way to get out from under it. So I'd like to see us all work together with the appreciation that to achieve equity, we all need to live and be in school together.
Back to working with county commission and city councilmen. Right now, the county commission is one who draws district lines. And a lot of you, especially ones who live here in District 6, might be surprised that District 6 pays the most taxes of any district in Hamilton County. But they're not asking the school board how to help draw those lines. I've started having those conversations with the county commissioners. It's not something they've ever had to think about until you ask them about it. That communication has been started. Let's continue to build on that, because the money drawn from our taxpayers is a product of the economy there, which is a product of the performance of the schools there. As I've been a part of a case study learned from a case study, I didn't do it myself. It's not about mixing the students, blending the students, the socioeconomic. That's not what makes a difference. I know it's important, but I've been in Howard School when GPS was able to come and spend a day in Howard School. I've seen my students laughed at by other students because they'd never seen such poor conditions in the school. The solution comes from the adults. It's about combining the parents' efforts. It's about combining the community's efforts. Taking students and putting them in another school, that's not the solution. Though, if we can combine our resources and then, coincidentally, our students start to look a little bit more diverse in their schools and in their zones, that's great, but it's not the other way around. I'm so glad everyone is here, because you're here because these organizations have this discussion. let's continue to push this discussion forward from talking about it to being about it and doing it. I feel like I've been walking the walk for several years now, getting in the most at-risk situation in which I can be, because I know that's where I can make a difference, because that what is really here in my heart and something that I've taken home with me so many days from those schools.